All right, good afternoon, cyber traders. Welcome on back here this Wednesday, although it feels certainly like a Thursday here this Wednesday afternoon, though, inside our live trading room. Abdul here with us, Chuck, Michael, the usual suspects, perhaps I should say, and I mean that obviously in a great, light, complimentary way. All of our students, members alike inside our live trading room. Just give me a quick chat back. I know that Lawrence just did there, actually. So, as I always say, if I got one of us, I got all of us typically, right? So, Brian, Richard, Phil, got Anna joining us. There we go. Got Rod here. Perfect. All right. So, hey, a couple things out, just to begin. Market has been very choppy today. Ended up dropping off at first. Let me ask us, what time do we typically see stocks reverse for all of our phase one students here, perhaps? A little pop quiz. What time do we typically see stocks reverse throughout the day? Is it morning? Is it afternoon? What time? Because, well, TNON just shaking back down now, but the SPY, I got way too many lines in this chart. So actually, let me just pretty this up. But it is to say at 10:30 Eastern time, right, folks? And we ended up seeing this begin to chop down a little bit lower. So where you're looking for that bounce, that's where you could begin to take some losses, where you're thinking, okay, if it's going to begin to build higher lows, we can get a higher high later on. Well, we still might get that here actually, but it took a little bit longer for the SPY to make that ultimate bounce and move that we wanted. So it ended up breaking below a support I had, basically right around 430, 650. It was holding above it pretty nicely throughout the morning. So that's where I was taking a couple losses on some option calls. Then from there, well, my next support line, although my 5-minute chart looks like a shit show basically, 435, a $5 incremental price. That was a key support level. I mean, honestly, if it were to break below that and then Friday's closing price from last week, that would have spelled really big trouble. So I was not out of the woodwork just yet, or not out of the weeds just yet, as it was beginning to bounce from 435. But obviously now, as we have continued to push up, we have made higher lows. Thankfully, the cookies crumbled well for a lot of us here this afternoon. We'll go over a couple sideless stocks that could be going with the market right now. Oh, I don't have a pen here with me. Oh, got to use the Notes app again on my cell phone. Uh-oh. All right, so let me delete this watch list from yesterday. Now, hey, heading into the afternoon, we had the TNON stock up just before, and this was looking good. Once again, it was breaking out from Tuesday, then Monday to begin the week. Well, for as much as it did pump up even from there. What goes up eventually comes back down. We saw that happen just earlier in the week on the PXMD trade. We saw that happen on the TPST. Obviously, I always look to reference that now. But, hey, same thing could happen here. If this fails to make a higher high over time, then for as much as it pumped up back from the beginning of this week, that's where you could anticipate a sharper drop. So I would be very careful on this trade. TNON just has some pretty thin orders out there just on the bid. So that's where you got to be careful of that nastier shakedown there. So we'll add this to our watch list, see if this can make another higher high. Now I'll tell you really quick, we had a couple other stocks from earlier. CDIO, pretty similar move where ended up popping up pretty nicely. It was looking good. It was looking good until it stopped looking good. Right. And we know what happens, especially in this case where the stock from last week was a 30-cent little tiny little penny stock. We don't really focus on that here at CTU. When a stock begins to bust over the dollar threshold, then honestly, we do look to consider it a little bit further. We look to follow up on it more. And really from yesterday, it was a hell of a trade. And once again this morning in pre-market. So just wanted to show this because, hey, this was actually one of the top percent gainers earlier today, believe it or not. Well, now it's down 7% from yesterday's close. So, all right. So I will say the SPY, if I could just jump back to the SPY chart, not my crazy 5-minute graph there, actually the daily. If I were to show you this really quick, it looks like right around 437 and change. I have a particular resistance here. I have it on my book map actually as well, but you could just see from mid-October heading into even right now from yesterday, it's had a damn tough time trying to break higher from that line. Roughly, it's not going to be to the exact penny, but roughly 437 like 25, 437 20-ish. Even yesterday, it tried going up towards 50 and couldn't break higher. So now I've even moved that up a slight bit more actually this morning in the Cyber Group room. I was writing, 437.50 needs to bust that really for that to be the clean breakout level here. So what you just saw before, looking at my 1-minute graph now, it actually got up to the 24, 20-ish area and then dropped. there's still some more work to do. So, a little nasty drop here. Let's hope that we don't get lower highs. Let's hope we don't get another nasty shakedown. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, too, before we continue to go down the gainers list here, I feel like I'm kind of sporadic here, or at least spread all over the map. We got some Fed speakers talking today, right? We had Powell earlier today, but I think that Barr is talking, if not now, then maybe very shortly from right now. I think Williams, is on the schedule to do today as well. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I just got it right now. There we go. Here's the speakers. So, oh no, I'm sorry. Oh, pardon me. That was yesterday's list. Shoot. All right. Well, I know that there's still one or two more for this afternoon, if I'm not mistaken. They might be talking right now here. So let's just be a little mindful to see the lower highs potentially build. Would rather get this to bust higher here heading into the next 10, 15 minutes. But let's just go from top to bottom now, see what we could put on our watch list. Again, we have well, we definitely now have TNON. I mean, we had it on our watch list just a second ago. I put it on there, but wow, what a reversal this thing just made. Whoa. So, I mean, again, I'll still, really emphasize caution on this stock, just given how thin the order book is on the bid side. Like, you got no real support out there on the buy side. So it's made a nice pop. That definitely is a good sign. Again, let's see a higher high. Let's see this resistance at 450 get flipped into support at least. There we go. We'll take it. All right, this GAN trade, I think it might be I should have even just skipped over it. It's a buyout, I believe. Popped up early pre-market, just flattened out after. And then we'll keep it moving from here. Just, continue to go through. Blade, BLDE, this just looks like a chop fest. Hey, it's up 33%, but that means nothing when there's no real actual movement on this that we can make money off of, unless if you held on from the morning session. This thing is just rugged looking. This real trade actually looks a little bit better, to be honest here, but still not really up to par for the afternoon watch list so far. I'll pass on this too, but a little bit more tradable at least. NRGV, ooh, this is actually trending up pretty nicely. Looked kind of stagnant from a zoomed out look, but this is trending up pretty well. It has an order on the bid, 12,000 shares, most of that coming from the EDGX. It's spread out though. Yeah, for right now, this looks good at least. I'll put this on our list as well. NRGV. Make sure my dyslexia doesn't screw me up there. I think I said NGRV, NRGV. All right, Wish. This stock is a short squeeze candidate. You could say that now off the earnings from this morning, but we'll talk about another earnings move in just a bit, folks. It's certainly not on the gainer side now. That's for damn sure. But Wish, an earnings play from earlier today, you still don't want to hold your breath waiting for for the real higher high, but it is still, at least closer to the highs right now than it is the lows. It's making a little bit of a lower high here as of now, of recent. Needs to make a stronger push back up soon, but I'll add it. Not bad right now. Now, the one I just referenced or alluded to just before, we're going to find that on the losers list, that one. You never want to buy a stock solely because news comes out, and it could definitely excite you to try and buy the stock. And if you do, all right, but it's got to make the move that you're expecting it to make, and we'll get to that in a bit. MQ, not really going anywhere. GoPro has never went anywhere, but maybe it might go somewhere this afternoon. Not on a bad trend. Held support pretty nicely just before, bounced back up, kind of similar to the NRGV trade. You know what this reminds me of? Fausto brought it up earlier in the morning in the audio broadcast, but it's more like, what the stock reminds me of? Reminds me of Siri. SIRI, Siri, XM radio ended up dropping off over the beginning of this year, flattened out. Then maybe earnings or some news led to a short squeeze. Nice pop. Well, hey, just on the other one right there, you could expect the same. So, maybe over time that could look to make a better pop. The GoPro stock, for right now, I'll add it to our watch list. Decent spread, good order book. The SPY's pushing back up. Like I said, I was looking for that to bust a move in the next 10, 15 minutes. So chop, chop. NVOS, what goes up comes back down. So again, we're going to see the same happen on the TNON, I'm sure, at some point. UIS, not on a bad move there. Order book kind of light. Definitely have a lot more that is up percentage-wise, folks. So please let me know if there's anything that I missed, anything that's moving with the market, perhaps bouncing. I saw Carvana up a little bit earlier today. Chuck, shout out to Chuck right now. And yeah, I saw actually a little chat on Twitter, on X over the last, 24 hours, we'll say, like a couple traders I follow. They're looking at it. It's had a nice couple of days, just last 3, 4 days in a row, green, right? So, it's not up a whole lot percentage wise, but definitely keep this on your side list at least, for this afternoon and tomorrow. It'll be on our B list. All right, so let's see if there's anything looking good otherwise, folks. Again, let me know if there's anything I missed. Roblox, really quick. This is one I didn't really talk about, but also from earlier. Hey, it popped really well in pre-market off earnings, and then actually it did make a good bounce for us off of 40 earlier on today, but end up failing to break higher. Came back down. Game over. That's it. Richard with Blade BLDE. So that one we did reference before, unless that's like exploding right now. I'm gonna just like pass on it. It wasn't really looking that great before. Yeah, it's still holding over the VWAP. Still holding over 3. It's got a good book, tradable, but you want something that's showing better direction right now as far as like the recent hour and a half, 2 hours. So hey, if it pops back up during this meeting, please let me know again. I'll come back to it. I'll give it another look. But let's see if there's anything now looking better on the loser side here. I got a joke coming in here, folks. It's not even showing here, probably because my scan, it's not really showing based on price. So I'll just do something outrageous like that. Oh, it's still not showing it. Let me go to the TOST trade. I guess it's not down as much percentage-wise as I thought. TOST took a huge hit overnight, or heading into this morning at least, from earnings. So they ended up making a nice little dead cat bounce earlier, it looks like. I just thought that they were down a lot more. I was going to say they're a little crispy here, the toast trade. But that's my poor dad joke of the day. All right, so now we'll just jump to the top of the losers list, work our way down, seeing if there's anything looking good there. I guess I should have said later, if you like your toast burnt, that would have been a good trade for you, right? That's probably the better line to go with. But all right, so another stock that got crushed from yesterday. Jesus, Upstart got smashed in the after hours. Normally off of an earnings move, and hey, analysts and companies have their expectations and they have their estimates of what a stock is implied to do. As far as the implied move off of earnings. I saw like Upstart implied move of like 18 to 20%. I was like, damn, that's a lot. Normally like 8 to 10%, pretty sufficient. Yeah, this thing got smashed. So dropped right away once the market opened up here, and then chopped around after. And from now, I mean, it's trying to make a dead cat bounce. If you're bullish on this company, or maybe even just bullish on the market altogether, and you think that this can potentially go with the market, you might see some day traders cover their shorts, then it is possible for this to make a dead cat bounce. So, you know what? Hey, if this was not down as much percentage-wise as it is, I actually wouldn't be putting it on our watch list. But maybe with this trend that we see here, we can get more of a squeeze up higher. It's just a thought. Now, if this trend line breaks, then run for the hills. It's kind of the simple rule there to go by. Michael's Array, I saw him comment on this earlier. It took a small hit earlier, probably off earnings too, but just flat right now. Hood, Robinhood. There we go. So I saw a statistic on Robinhood where year over year for the quarter, they saw a pretty large drop off on users. So obviously not a good sign, and led to a big drop earlier on this morning. They're at the lows. So you know what? Play devil's advocate here. I'm looking for a pop on the SPY. In the rare event I don't get that, I'll say rare. In the event where I don't get that, then if the markets pull back, then this could actually be a decent short to work with. So I like this one. Hood. There's our burnt toast trade. What else we got on this losers list here? Anything else looking good? Maybe I need to jack up the volume criteria. Probably. Yeah. Still, you got a lot of companies coming out with earnings today, this afternoon, folks, as well. So just be on the lookout. We got a bunch. We got AMC, we got Affirm, we got Mara. I'm out on my swing trade from Mara. I'm a little upset by that, but I'll just play it off the earnings and then react from there. So I ended up like barely making honestly anything because swing trade position smaller than a day trade. So with that, I got out like 12-cent profit. It's like on very small size and just it was unfortunate. Just could have done a little bit better on this, but hey, I wanted more out of it. You can't always get what you want. So if you don't really see that making the move that you're looking for, hey, if Mara pops off good earnings this afternoon, I'm not going to let it affect my psyche too much because then I'll just jump back in on the swing tomorrow. It's as simple as that. So, it's still at support, but I wanted a stronger move off of this area earlier. Haven't gotten it. So, just keep a lookout for Mara earnings this afternoon. You got IO and Q, probably a couple more, but those, the ones I had mentioned at least, are the ones that really you should be buckled in on. So, let me know, folks, if there's anything else looking good, up, down, left, right, more than 5%. We'll break out my trusty scanner here via Benzinga. Nothing really popping up here. Nothing really looking that phenomenal. Maybe I'll just look at Pixie. Don't mind looking at it. Nah, not really looking too great there. Did they just do a reverse stock split, Pixie? I thought that we just traded them maybe even like the other day, no? This company just had to have done a reverse stock split. Give me a quick second here. I don't know if I'm going crazy or something. I got to take a look at this just to see. I feel like we just traded this stock. No, this thing was on decent volume. If not, then I'm maybe mixing up my trades. Looks like they had a reverse split effective perhaps on October 2nd. So maybe it was from like a couple months back and then they did it. And all right, that makes sense, at least just for the curious mind out there. That's all. But all right, if there's anything else, though, folks, again, let me know if there's anything else looking good up, down, left, right. We're going to just take one final look at the SPY here. Still having a tough time. Looks like a pennant building here too. So that's where you got to be pretty careful for a lower low here at this point. Really need to see it blast over really even 437.50 at this number up top. Just going down my side list here. Nothing really looking too good. So honestly, I think that we might just call it. Richard saying Watt, W-A-T-T. It's up 16%, but zero volume. This thing is trading little tiny volume. And then up, Barb, I appreciate you. I'm just reading the chat now, bottom to top. So Barb is actually a really good teammate to me. She always helps me out. So actually told me October there in the chat board, actually. So no, Blade, we already talked about, Jeff. That's a no-go. That's a 0. I'm going to pass on that. The stocks we have on our watch list so far, folks, I would highly suggest for you to start and stick with what is going to be on our watch list here. TNON, NRGV, Wish, GoPro, Upstart, Hood. Obviously, I'll be typing that out to you in the coming moments here. But hey, folks, Rich will be on the mic in about 10 or 12 minutes. Wrap things up for you folks heading into this afternoon. So best of luck trading. Again, start and stick with this watch list. If you're on social media right now, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, the works. Hey, if you're not subscribed yet, if you're not up to date with all of our social media streams and platforms, just be a friend, tell a friend. At Cyber Trading U is the channel name there. So be sure to do that. Be sure to join us as well inside our live trading room to get the full service, to get the full benefit of these streams and just being a member of Cyber Trading University. Scan that QR code on the top left. Actually, Fausto is finishing up a roundtable at NASDAQ. So actually be on the lookout for that as well on our YouTube channel. Even further reason why you should be subscribed there as well. So best of luck trading, folks. And again, I'll be in the chat board at least up until 3:30. If you see something, say something, and we'll go from there. Talk to you soon.